Hello everyone, my name is Simon Sikele and welcome to my fifth video covering small basic. So in this lesson we'll be focusing on applying the knowledge that we've learned from the previous videos. So the first thing that you're reminded of is this information that's provided here. This is very important, so you'll be using it to draw all the shapes that you'll need as we proceed. And as it reads, remember the angle of a straight line is 180 degrees, the angle of a right angle is 90 degrees, the angles inside of a triangle adds up to 180. So make sure that you do remember this information, as we'll be using it throughout this video. Okay, so now we are told to actually draw this shape, which is a triangle. So I'm just going to go into details as to how to calculate all the angles that you're given and all that. So to start with, this is an equilateral triangle. And how do we see it? Because all the angles inside of this triangle are equal. So if all the angles are equal, that means also the sides are equal. Okay, these are the properties of an equilateral triangle. And all the angles that are outside here with dotted lines and all that, they were calculated. So let's go right ahead and calculate them. So the first thing that you see here is this. By default, as we start a small basic, the turtle is facing their position 0, which is up. Okay, this is the code from a previous video. I'm just going to remove this. So by default, that's what we have. So with that, as you can see here, the position that the turtle will be facing will be this dotted line here, which is angle 0. So in order for us to create an inner angle of 60 degrees, this is an angle of 90 degrees, which is a right angle. So if we have an inner angle of 60, what we'll have to do is just to say 90, which is a right angle, minus the inner angle, which is 60, and that will give us the outer angle, which is 30. Hope that makes sense. So because we are at angle of 90, but if we decide we want to be at an angle of a straight line, which will just draw this line here, that will mean that we're at an angle of 180, which means we'll be facing at angle 270. So if we are facing along this line, or we're on a straight line, what we do know about the straight line is that the angle of a straight line is 180. So if you've got an inner angle of 60 degrees, to get an outer angle, the value of an outer angle, that will just be 180 minus 60, and that will give us this angle as 120. So if you want to start your shape facing the left, which is angle 270, you mean you need to start first by turning an angle of 120. And if you are facing at angle 0, you need to start by turning an angle of 30. And remember, in small basic or in programming in general, the instructions have to be sequential. So what I need to happen first is for me to turn and face this direction before I can actually start drawing. So once I turn that, what I can do is move. This length was not specified, so for the purpose of this video, I'm going to use the value of 100. So how do we do that? So this is what I mean in small basic. So the first thing that I need to do is turtle dot turn, and I'm going to turn an angle of 30. So for now, as you can see, I'm facing that angle, which is angle 30. So now since we've done that, I need to do what? Move. So I'm gonna do this, turtle dot move, and I'm gonna use the value 100 because the value was not specified. So I turn and move. So once I'm at this point, based on the information you have provided here, as you can see, they've created this dotted line for you to understand that we're on an angle of a straight line. So since we're in angle of straight line, remember, angle of straight line is 180 and the inner angle is 60. So if we know the inner angle, we know the angle of a straight line, we can get the outer angle by simply saying the angle of straight line, which is 180, minus the inner angle, and that will give us 120. And because we are going to turn to the right, as you can see the arrow here, which is clockwise, which means our angle is going to be positive. So the angle that you need to turn is what? 120 to make an inner angle of 60. So I'm just going to go right ahead. I'm going to turn turtle dot turn. I want to turn 120. If I run my program now, I'm facing angle, that particular angle. I've turned 120. So what I need to do right now is move. So I'm gonna do this, turtle dot move, and because it's an equilateral, all sides are equal. So if I use 100 here, I also need to use 100 throughout all the sides because it's an equilateral. If it was a different triangle, the instruction would be different. So now that I'm there, which is this position, I'm here. You've also been guided here that we're still on a straight line, angle of 180, remember? So now we have an inner angle of 60, so we need to calculate the outer angle. So to do that, we say 180, which is an angle of a straight line, minus 60, and we get 120. So just gonna go ahead and do this. Turtle dot turn which angle? 120. And then if I run that now, I'll be facing there. So the last statement I need to do is what? Move 100. So my triangle can be completed. Move dot move and 100. So after this, my triangle is complete. Play around with it, change the size of change the length of your lines, but keep the angle simple. So now what I'm going to do is draw the very same shape but facing a different angle initially. So I'm going to remove everything that I have here, and this is what we have. It's still facing up. So I'm going to say, I'm going to tell my turtle to face an angle of 270. Right? If I tell it to face 270, it will be facing to the left. And if you go into the book, here there's a straight line here, as you can see. So I'm at an angle of 270. So since it's a straight line, what I need to do is what? Straight line is 180. The inner angle is 60. So I just need to say 180 minus 60, and I get 120. So I'm gonna go right ahead and do that. So now I need to say turtle dot turn, and let's say 120. And now I have the same thing. So I'm just gonna go right ahead and complete the code. Turtle dot move 100. So look at this. I've turned, moved 100. We already figured out all these angles here. We need 120, 120. So I can just copy this, copy, press enter, paste, press enter, paste. In this case, I'll have the same shape. So there's no one way of getting the shape correct. There's multiple ways. For the purpose of this video, I've only shown you two, but there's a lot of ways in which you can draw this shape. Thank you very much for watching, and let's meet in the next lesson.